Welcome back to another weekly or bi-weekly, I should say. We only do these twice a month now. DaaS Sales Workshop. And you guys haven't seen me or my workshop for about a month straight because 2 weeks ago, unfortunately, I returned from a trip and was sick for a couple of days. So I missed the Tuesday workshop and we took it off the calendar. So I'd like to start, especially with it being a month since I've done any. Did anybody show up that wants any specific sales questions addressed? I'd like to hit that before I dive into curriculum and stuff. So if so, just put up the hand raise emoji or type a 1 in the chat and I will call on you. I always like to start these. And again, I know some people just come in to get a quick question or two answered. And I would like to address that before I dive into curriculum, today's lesson, what I want to go over. And of course, we always leave time at the end for another Q&A. Maybe you'll have a question throughout the today's workshop or something like that. So we'll give it a minute, but as of now, just looking through, I don't see any comments in the chat, so nobody showed up with any specific sales questions. Okay, that is fine. Sure, somebody has to record it. That's fine. I always record this and upload those. Just so any of you guys know really quickly, in our school community, not the top column or tab where you can choose like classroom, workshop, etc., but one more down, there's some different categories with different channels, announcements, wins and case studies, things like that. There's a sales channel there. If you click on that, all of my replays get uploaded in there before the end of the day. So if you go back to last month, you'll see that workshop, then 2 weeks before, so on and so forth. Today's will be uploaded there as well. But again, I'll just kind of dive into what I'm going to cover. Oh, Philip, you had a question. Perfect. Before I dive into it, go ahead.
Thank you for putting these on, by the way. So data as a service, a lot of people are going to go after cold traffic or cold clients. I already have a lot of students, and so I want to sell this as a product to my warmer audience. And just if there's any differences in your mind of that, I mean, it should be an easier sales process. They already know, like, and trust me. I have their credit cards on file. So it's just, is there any nuances that I should know about there?
Yeah, no, great question. I would say go into my warm market first and foremost. It's just promoting the solutions that you're offering and the problems that it's solving, right? It's just letting them know that you have something else that solves a different problem. And because you already have that relationship, it should be an easy transition. One of the most common things I think a lot of our newer users do that go to a lot of their clients is just offer them a new exclusive lead base. A lot of our clients are currently buying shared leads from whatever on numerous platforms, Angie's List, Home Advisor, right? And as I'm sure you know, Philip, you're a very bright guy, I could tell by today's conversation. But with shared leads, for most business owners, especially in service-based niches and industries, it seems like you have to be the first one or the cheapest one to call on them to close the deal. Where exclusive leads, you're looked at as the service provider in that county, in that area. So I think that's one of the biggest leverage points that people, just pull quickly and get some low-hanging fruit and some quick deals.
Thank you.
I'm also going to go over some stuff more relevant to that, and I'll touch on it really quickly just in case you're not able to stay for the whole thing. Some more ways with the Pixel, and the Pixel can be used as a good entry tool. So existing clients, if they're driving traffic to their own website and or landing page month in and month out, what a lot of my clients do is say to their client, hey, Bob, what if I could show you a new stream of revenue that you didn't even know existed? And then once we generate that revenue stream, I'll split it with you 60-40. So it's a great rev share, or you can go in and do it on a monthly retainer model, whatever, but that usually seems much more lucrative. And it's hard to say no to a new business owner, somebody unlocking a new revenue stream and then saying, hey, once you start making money, I only want 40% of it, which is much better than the 0% of what they're getting now out of that revenue stream. So, and the way that works very simply is what I'm going to do for you, Bob. I'm going to throw my identity resolution pixel onto your website. What it's going to do once it's fired, it's going to start to resolve the identity, the name, email, phone number, advertising profile, or the SHA-256 file of your bounce visitors, your anonymous traffic. These are people that already know your brand. They visited your website. What we then do is we loop them into some simple retargeting ads, cold emails, door knocking campaigns, if applicable, if they're in the local area, so on and so forth, and retarget. Now, Bob, who do you think's more likely to buy from you? Somebody who's visited your website in the last 30 days or somebody in your next cold email campaign? Right. And that's a really good quick one, too. So those are some of the quick leverage tools, levers I would be pulling there, Philip, reaching out to my audience if any of those are applicable. Awesome. Great. So, guys, let me dive in. Cool. We keep getting more and more people coming in. If you're diving in late and you happen to come in with a specific question, I made this offer maybe before you were on the call. You go type a 1 in the chat and I'll deviate from whatever I'm covering and dive into your question. Again, always want to be respectful of your time. And I know some of you guys just come in because, hey, man, I just want a question answered and I got another call in 20 minutes. Totally get that. You let me know by typing something in the chat or interrupting me, and I will get to that. Now, something I go over and I share on each one of my sales workshops is this resource here. So first, I'm just going to go throw this in the chat for all you guys. Oops, for some reason my chat box disappeared. Give me 1 second. I'm going to throw this link in the chat for anybody that doesn't have it. Any of our newer users or anybody that had a call with me recently, this would also come in the recap email that I send to you immediately after our call. But again, this is something I just share and cover in the first 2 or 3 minutes of this workshop. When I run these, many of you guys know, and I see a couple new names and new faces that I don't believe I've either seen on workshops or done more than one call with. This resource is everything you need to build out your DaaS sales process. Say, whether
To
you're
let
Tommy, can
them
you just mute there?
nurse.
Tommy, you got some background noise. Can you please mute? Thank you. Appreciate it. As I just said, guys, this link is in the chat, but this is your resources and everything you need to build out your DaaS sales process, whether you are starting your DaaS agency from scratch and this is kind of your core flagship offer, or whether you're just bolting this onto your existing offering and you're already offering other services, ads management, CRM, all that stuff, right? So number one within this resource is a list, step 1, 2, 3, 4, how I would build out my sales process. As you know, when we go through this, I recommend a 2-call process. So call number 1, triage call. Here's a script or a framework I've already put together that you can use to do your sales calls. Call number 2, your sales or your demo call. Again, here's the script or your framework already built out. Number 6 on this screen, of course, is a copy of the authority pitch deck that we provide to you guys that I recommend you use on some of your sales calls. Nothing is branded to Audience Lab. Download it, make your own copy, swap out the first slide with your own imaging, logo, what have you. You're good to go. Short little pitch deck showing your clients exactly how you can tune into their ideal audience, or exactly how you can take that audience and loop it into their marketing and advertising campaigns, etc. Zalmi, I see your question in the chat. I'll get to it 1 minute, right when I'm done covering this doc here. Number 7, about a 15 or 20-minute tutorial. This one is more specific to the identity resolution tool, the super pixels. So again, as I was just saying to Philip, or any of you guys that this is applicable, any of your clients that drive pretty significant existing traffic to a particular landing page or website, if you haven't already, you're probably going to want to check out this tutorial. The 2 main things I cover in there are, in my opinion, the 2 most important things when selling the Pixel. Number 1, how to really assess if it's a good fit. Is it a home run and a solid ROI for your client? Personally, for me, if not, I probably don't want to pitch it or sell it. Again, you guys are free to do whatever you want. That's my recommendation on how I do business. Secondly, if you assess and it is a good ROI, and what I mean by that is you'll see in the tutorial, there's a tool I use called the Pixel Forecast Calculator, which within the tutorial, the link to that is right in the description so everybody can get their own model. If you just enter 4 of this business owner's metrics, it's going to spit out a very close rough guesstimate to how much revenue they're leaving on the table. And that's what I mean by assessing if it's a home run. If it spits out 80 grand, 100 grand, whatever number, depending on the business model, the pricing, their revenue, it's a significant stream of revenue, and you're only going to charge them $1 grand or $2 grand a month. It's a no-brainer for them to download this technology and start using this Pixel, right? So number 1, shows you how to assess it and gauge it through the Pixel Forecast Calculator. And then when we recognize it is a good fit, I run through in the bottom of that checklist or that calculator some of the best ways that I recommend pricing this on a few different ways. And I'm going to go through this a little more throughout the session. But the 3 most common that I see with the Pixel specifically are straight retainer, a mix of a base retainer plus performance, or a straight performance package. And I run through those in more depth. Number 8 is, of course, a Google Doc with about 20 or so of my sales call recordings last year at some point, maybe even a year and a half ago now. You guys asked for these, so I put them on there. And many of you told me the verbiage and the terminology, or just seeing how I run my calls, had really helped you, convert more or close more deals. So that document, and again, the link is already in the Google chat here. David, if you just jumped on, hold on. I already put it in the chat at 3:06 Eastern here, but let me go drop it again because I know we got a couple of you guys joined while I was in here. So I just dropped that again at 3:09. You should see a link in the chat there, David. That was a document I just went over with all the seller and reseller resources. Zalmi, you went on to say, I need your help to have the documents that can help me prove the SOC2 privacy and our security with the data. Could you help me with this? So this is something I feel like we talk about way too much, and I think a lot of you guys might overcomplicate, but happy to dive into it because it is certainly a common question. And again, I just want to eliminate the misconceptions and the things that we have to. So number 1, When it comes to the legality and privacy of the data, that is all covered within our terms and agreements, and we have all the legal terminology there. I'm going to go get you the link and drop it in the chat here, Zalmi, and anyone else that wants it. You may want to take that language and copy and paste it. You may want to take it and alter it a little for your website or how you explain it. But we have that all on our main Audience Lab page within the FAQs. And again, give me a minute, Zalmi. I'll go get you the link. You're going to want to go through the terminology and the verbiage there because it's been run through by our legal team. When I paraphrase, it might not fly through legal. So just to cover my own bases, I don't want to paraphrase. I'm going to send you the exact terminology around privacy. But I want to keep in mind the legality and privacy of the data is separate from the compliance, okay? Most of the questions we're going to get from clients are around compliance. I can guarantee you, and I'm going to, again, drop the link here momentarily and show you the verbiage. I can guarantee you that the data is legal and that we're meeting all privacy standards. And the first way to go about that and explain this to your users, and when you get questions, is our super graph and our data is first-party data, which is different than a lot of databases. I'm not going to go through the whole terminology, but there's first-party, second-party, third-party data. Each one has been washed a little more, so it's not quite as accurate, and each one has less opt-in initial viability. Being a first-party data platform, that means that everybody in our super graph, all 300 million people, have at once ticked the box that said, yes, I agree to share my information with you and your partners. That's how they ended up in our super graph. Does that mean they opted into Bob's Roofing? No, we have to get them to re-opt in through some type of ad, email, to totally collect and do outreach in more of a personal setting. So again, even that's a little complex. I could have worded that better. Our data is 100% compliant in all outreach methods initially. Now, when you get to your brand and your specific SMS and cold calling restrictions, again, you want to look at your own state. You want to cross-check all the DNC things. I know we have a DNC filter in our platform, but I recommend all of our clients that are cold calling the data, take the list that you pulled in the numbers and run them through one outside DNC registry as well. Just cover your rear end and kind of double tick your boxes, for lack of a better phrase, because our DNC compliant gets updated every 31 days. There could be people that remove their names in that 31 days. So ours isn't going to be always 100% compliant due to the 31-day or 30-day update cycle on the DNC list. You can go through an outside DNC source, which gets updated every 24 hours. You're almost always going to be in compliance. So a lot of, again, the questions run around legal and privacy, which is all straight and done. Number one, if our data wasn't legal and we weren't compliant in the privacy standards, not only would all of our resellers and business owners' data grid be shut down, but our whole company and all of the data that we have for Audience Lab and over 1,000 other users would be shut down. Trust me, we're covered on that. And again, I'll show you the lingo. More around the compliance, I like to tell my clients, because we're first-party data, we're able to do outreach. The data is going to be compliant most and easiest and probably the quickest ROI and the fastest return in ad spend. Because one, we can get our best message in front of a bigger audience just based on a budget. We usually have some restrictions within how many SMSs or how many emails. We all know with emails, we have all the challenges of what percentage actually hit the right inbox, what percentage get open, what percentage get conversions. With ads, it's a little more clear of a call to action funnel, so we usually see better results. I think our clients that I see the best results from the data are doing a combination of activating that data with ads and email. But the foremost common, as I always talk about, ways to activate the data, the foremost prevalent that all of you guys and your clients are using, again, I'll go through a couple outliers: ads, email, SMS, cold calling. Those are the four most common. And I'll even go through this just to be 100% standard, 100% transparent, and just cover this thoroughly. So within the ads, as long as you're not one of them weird special categories, an adult product, a CBD, something that's like an 18 or 21 plus audience, as long as you're not that, you're in any major industry, business, e-commerce, physical product, that's not any of those categories, your data is going to be compliant in your ads 100% of the time. With email, the data is going to be compliant. Again, you might have email autoresponder restrictions, but the data is going to be compliant. You got to really work on the deliverability. And within email, we should all know this: 4 things need to be included in the email to be compliant and legal in terms of the outreach. We want to know those 4: your name, your business address, and a clear opt-out. I think we're all doing that in our business emails anyway, I would like to hope, but those are the 4 things that make the Audience Lab first-party data compliant, as long as we tick those 4 boxes. On SMS, it's 3 of those 4 things. You don't need the business address, so you need your name, your business name, and a clear opt-out. And again, SMS, check within states, because I've heard California and Texas specifically have more restrictive SMS policies than the other 48. And again, I'm no lawyer. Be sure you check that. Cold calling, again, the data is going to be good. My recommendation, I tell every client that's going to be pulling a list off in cold calling, run it through one outside DNC list first. Just double check and cross check all the numbers. Make sure any aren't out there before you plug them into your call center or your auto dialer, or whatever you're doing with them. So that's a quick little overview, Zalmi. Hopefully that clarifies some of this. You had a couple more things, my clients. Yeah, so again, let me go give you the language on that. 100%. Let me go grab that real quick, and then I'll get into what I want to cover. Give me 1 second, guys, just because I didn't have this up. Let me go, but I have it very, very handy. Okay, the FAQs. Got it already. Give me 2 seconds. I'll have it in the chat for everybody that wants this. Okay, so in the chat right now, in the Zoom chat here in this this workshop, is the link to our FAQ page. There's quite a few, but you got to scroll down, and there's a specific one on legality, privacy. All that language is within there. Again, tweak it or tune it to how you want. I'm not expecting you guys to copy and paste it. I'm not saying you can't. Just make sure all that language is applicable to your audience, your business model. Of course, as a large data provider that sells primarily to agencies and resellers, we might be wording stuff a little different than you who's taking the data to Bob's Roofing or whatever, right? So again, just make sure that's all applicable. And I'm a little surprised, Zalmi, that more of your questions are around the legality and privacy, to be honest. What most business owners should be worried about is where is it compliant on their end? If you can show them a quick statement, and if you are getting that question, I get it. That usually comes just because we put some doubt or some hesitancy or some skepticism or didn't show a clear value. And now they're looking for little outs in their brain to poke holes in it so they can tell themselves, I don't have to make a purchase. A lot of times those are almost nitpicking objections to an extent. Not saying always, but that's what I've seen to be the majority of the time. I'm getting that one. It's like a secondary objection. It's like, okay, what's really the problem here, Bob? Do you not believe in the platform? Did I not show you the effectiveness? Do you not believe in the ROI? What's the real problem? Because we are a first party data platform. We've had everybody opt in. I have all the privacy and legal lingo right on my page for you to check out. So what's the real concern? Or is it more about when you send your ads or emails out, are you worried about being compliant? So which is it, Bob? Is it the legal side or the compliance side? 9 out of 10 times when I say that, Zalmi, they're gonna be like, oh, I'm real worried about what I'm compliant for. Cool, let's focus on that. And then the conversation switches away. It almost always goes that way. Again, not saying that there's not the outlier and you're not going to get this super techie legal guy that's, you know, dotting every I and crossing every T. It can happen. But all that lingo is provided there on that webpage I talked about. So guys, now what I want to get in is share is being very, very transparent, as I always in. We launched a new division of Audience Lab to an extent. Now, all you guys have access to the Pixel. You've been using it. We've got great reviews for any of you guys that have upgraded. I'm hoping everybody has by now. Any new members, you're already upgraded, so don't worry about it if you've enrolled in the last few months. But anybody that wasn't an old plan might still be on what we call the version 3 Pixel. We have rolled out, and we've done plenty of posts. Probably everybody on this call knows. We have the V4 Pixel, version 4. That's what everybody should be using. At Audience Lab, since probably our first year in business, when this is before we had the Audience Builder built out, guys. Before we were Audience Lab, we were known as Ads Lab, and all we had at the time was the Super Pixel. That was our initial tool and feature we rolled out. And the first year, McDonald's bought off us, Walmart, some big brands that we got a lot of feedback and helped us build the platform forward. Why I'm kind of saying that is, since that first year in business, we have not just had like a Pixel a la carte alone package that you can just like buy a Pixel onto your website. We've had them kind of come and go on different trial and front end offers. But now with the performance of the V4 Pixel, now that we've tested it among a number of competitors and we are absolutely crushing them in the accuracy and the validity of the data, in the monetization and you know, ROI on said Pixel, it's just performing at a next level where we brought back a whole Pixel division and we priced this out in some ways that I want to share with you guys. What I'm about to show you, we literally just launched and made open to the public this Monday the 16th, which was yesterday. We have run no specific ads or marketing to this quite yet, just our warm audience. Day one, we had this page open. We booked 34 sales calls. I actually, some of you guys might have seen.
I'll be back.
Hold on. Sorry, Stacey, I got to mute you. How can
Thank you. Sorry.
1 minute, guys. Sorry. Okay, she did it for me. Perfect. Sorry, what was I just saying? I got sidetracked there. Oh yeah, yeah. So with the new Pixel and what I'm about to show you guys, I've literally only shared with 3 people. As many people as I can fit on one hand. If you cut off my pinky and my thumb, that's how many people have seen what I'm about to roll out. We did again do a soft launch on this yesterday publicly. Booked 34 calls. That's what I was just saying. Some of you guys might have saw my post. I'm already hiring new sales reps because of how quick this is taking off. Some more entry level sales rep, not our back end account executives that probably a lot of you spoke with, but some front end statters and people to sell some low ticket items. So I want to share with you the funnel we put together, the pricing, the verbiage, and just everything we're doing because that's how we always roll. Everything that we roll out, we have success with, and we're going to bring to you guys. I like to be very transparent and show you guys. So you may have seen us talking about, or you may have seen some post, either Adam or myself, or referencing the Ghost Pixel, which is kind of what we branded it as. Now, I'm going to show you 6 different pages of the funnel, the 3 before you buy and the 3 what happened after you buy and what's happening throughout the whole process. But basically, this is just what we're doing for this is number 1, we're running ads to just business owners that run traffic to a website and that want to make some more money. Outside of our current ads and our current ideal audience is more agency owners looking to resell this to their clients to be able to stand out in the market and offer something that their competition isn't, yada, 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 a few different things. So right now, when we get somebody in our main funnel that doesn't fit that criteria, not a big business or brand owner, not an agency, not a reseller, not looking for multiple lists and multiple pixels, we're funneling them back into this funnel if they happen to just be a business owner with traffic. And then if they go through and fill out the page and convert, they go into a booking and with one of my newer sales reps. So really quickly, we ask them kind of what industry they're in. We ask them to do, this goes through 3 or 4 questions. We ask them to describe how many visitors. Let's say we're getting 1 to 10,000. Let's go mid. And what's your biggest traffic right now? Let's say high cost per lead. So they click on that, they enter their thing, they click here, and then they go to page 2. Now, page 2 is get the Ghost Pixel on your website. And with this offer, we are doing a 7-day free trial. Now, let me walk you through everything. Again, some of this would come in the back end, but I just want to say it in the order I think more for my users than my prospects and people that aren't clients. Internally, guys, we have a DocuSign already set up for this. When they install the trial, they agree to pay within 7 days, and they already give us their credit card to be billed should they not cancel. So this one does have an initial trial. It's something we get asked about, and we've gone from and away with. There's pros and cons to running trial offers, as probably everyone knows. I should refresh this. The demo video's there. I don't know why it says coming soon. I don't know if something just happened to my page. I don't know. I'll check with it later. But there's a little demo video there that shows them how the Pixel's going to get installed and if they want help from our team, which we recommend they do. And I think it makes them do that. Then they go in here, they book their date, and it takes them to page 3, which is their confirmation page, right? Boom, you just booked. Your demo is all set. Check your inbox, add it to your calendar. Here's what to expect the next 3 steps. Then after they enroll and they get that booking, it's going to take them to this page. Your 7-day trial is now active. How the Pixel works. This is the most informative page. Actually, once they've made a commitment, the front end, as many of you guys probably know, we keep it simple and only to 2 or 3 bullet points of the benefits. And then we get into the more extensive and comprehensive explanations once somebody has bought and they probably need a more thorough understanding. I think the more we try to explain, the more we kind of confuse our market in the front end of many funnels, and a confused mind will not buy. I think that's pretty self-evident. Again, generally speaking, there's always going to be some confused idiot that'll buy, but you guys know what I'm saying. If you're confused about a product, a solution, the value, you're likely not pulling out your credit card and purchasing that product, that item. So again, it takes them to this page. This is, again, the most comprehensive one. We included some cool graphics, the 4 main things that get talked about and where we differentiate. This is what we're trying to show them, how we're different from other people. Now that they're in our platform, as you guys know, when somebody buys your stuff or is searching for or in your funnels, they're probably getting targeted with ads from your competitors quite often, and they might be doing research. So now these people might be get hit with our competitor of what's the big Pixel one that I'm drawing a blank on right now? We have all kinds of competitors. Data Shopper's one that we've actually compared it against recently, and that was a joke the way their data performed against ours. But showing how we built our own identity system and how we capture the resolutions of the identities a little different. The geoframing, the technology behind what we do, then the graphics that kind of make it pop, right? Step 1, 2, 3, 5, this is exactly what happens. Why other pixels can't be trusted. I'm not knocking the other brands, but I'm saying the flaws in the process of how they're resolving the identity and the technology they're using, especially with the people still using cookie software to resolve identities. That can't be trusted nowadays, and cookies are going away more and more. There's even a couple other ones that are getting dated. So again, happy to share this with anybody as well that like wants the links and wants to kind of go over the whole funnel. But that's again the most extensive page. This is what they get after they've booked and they've paid and or signed up for the trial and signed the agreement and they're coming in. Then we do a quick little demo and estimation of what their pixels should pop, should provide for them in terms of what they're looking for. So once they've selected a plan, and I did this a little out of order. First, let me show you the plans and the important part. In terms of how we're packaging this in something a little different than what you guys have seen us offer in the market before. And this is the exact offer I was talking about, the prices and the different tiers that you guys are seeing on my screen now, that I said we did a soft launch, no ads, no nothing, just filtering some disqualified people in an email to our warm audience, 34 calls booked on day one. But we're offering all these different packages from as low as $97 a month. And this is for the person, let's say you're working with a business coach that drives less than 1,000 people a month. Unfortunately, that's pretty common for business coaches and experts to get 1,000 or less visitors to their website. So now I have a package where we can just resolve a couple hundred identities, because we're usually going to pop somewhere from about 40 to 60%. I like to err on the side of around 40%. And sometimes I even go lower. I do my projections. If I think I'm going to resolve 40%, let's just say my pixel sucks and I only resolve 25%. Well, even if he's getting 1,000 visitors, as I just said, 250 resolutions would be perfect for that guy, right? Or the guy getting maybe 2,000 hits. I might refer this program at 147, where he gets 500 resolutions per month. Or again, so on and so forth. So each step up just gets them a little more resolutions. And then, of course, each one drops the cost from initially on the starter package, although only $100 a month, you're paying 38 cents per resolution, as opposed to a guy that's generating 50,000 resolutions is only paying 3 cents per resolution. That is dirt cheap, and they're not going to find that anywhere else in the market. To give them the name, email, phone number, and hash advertising profile for their website traffic for 3 cents per visitor is almost unheard of, right? So all these different plans where we can now customize them to the business model, to the amount of traffic they're getting, to the budget they're looking for, to the, I think I just said it, web traffic, all those type of different things. And then people that are popping a lot of traffic, and let's say we get a big brand, a whale, right? 50,000 guys, I know might sound like a lot, and it is if you're talking about coaching models or service providers. I mean, I don't expect the average roofer to get 50,000 hits per month, totally. But when you're talking about major e-commerce brands, software companies, technology companies, applications, they get way more. I mean, we know companies that are getting millions of hits per month. Those are the people, just so you guys know how our funnel works, if they're overqualified and somehow ended up in this funnel, my sales guys, my entry-level guys that I'm training to sell these packages know to set them in the back end for the high-end closer and the account executive, and we're going to sell them into a more comprehensive, usually multi-$1,000 a month DaaS package, or a more extensive pixel package, something like that. So again, those are the different tiers. Then once they pick a plan, they could say, hey, I picked the scale plan. I am getting, let's say this guy's getting 3,000 hits. Let's say my website only converts at 2.5%. And let's say my average order value is $400. So it'll basically calculate basically immediately, right here on my screen. That's how many missed visitors per month based on this. This is how many we can identify with the pixel, with the package you chose. We can estimate based on your current conversion rate, of 2.5%, which, guys, I'd like to sidebar and always point out, usually the resolved identity, retargeted traffic is going to perform at a higher conversion percentage than cold traffic going to a website. Again, people that have already visited your page, know of your brand, are likely going to be more likely to convert than their first time visiting a website or page. But let's work off worst case scenarios and what they're currently getting. I drive in an extra 20 customers, you get an extra $8,000 in revenue per month off of our scale plan, which I think is the 147 or something. Like, that's a no-brainer. Net ROI 32.4%. So we built all this out, and I just kind of wanted to share with you everything that we're doing, how we bring up new revenue streams off of items and products that you guys already have access to, but we just market them and tier them in different packages to different audiences for different primary objectives than our back-end DaaS users and most of you guys on this call. So that's what I wanted to go over first. I saw there was a couple more comments. Do you have sales rep resources that could help us hire? Sales rep resources, now, depends exactly what you mean. That's kind of a loaded question there asked. Do you need help hiring and recruiting like the actual talent and getting the network? Or are you talking more about like the internal processes to train them, to get them up to speed, up to KPI, to challenge them and continue development? Because I kind of do all that personally, but I think those are two separate beasts, for lack of a better phrase. So again, yeah, we have the ability. I think for more of the systems and the internal infrastructure, what I provided in that document that I dropped in the chat and that I cover is kind of everything you need. You can give your guys some examples of call recordings that have closed deals. You can give your guys a basic frame or a script, as I recommend in all of my trainings where I go through that. You want to take it and then customize it to your offer, your lingo, your terminology, right? You might not speak the same way that I do in my script. So alter it, right? And make it your own, but all the basis is there for the framework, the scripts, the call recordings, the pitch decks. So everything you need to kind of build out the sales process, all you need to do is record the tutorials and build out the SOP on the back end to run your guys through. In terms of the talent and the hiring, do I have the ability to do that? Yes, I've been fortunate to co-own a sales brand and my network. I mean, I only have about 6,000 followers, but a very high percentage are business owners and sales reps. For instance, I told you we got that traffic yesterday and I'm already hiring a few new people. I went and put one post on Facebook. Within 2 hours, I had 5 interviews booked and I had people already on the waiting list because I only have 2 positions. Personally, as a business owner and somebody that's doing the hiring, I'm not going to waste more than 5 slots and keep booking in because I might already have my 2 guys. I'm going to go run those 5 interviews, see if I have my 2 winning candidates. If not, I schedule more interviews. If I do, I take my 2 winners and plug them right into my system. So, I mean, generally speaking, Zalmi, you probably need a little bit of a network and a pipeline of people that are in that niche or industry and profession. Since I got my start in 2019 in this market, as a remote sales rep on a high ticket team before I launched or owned any of my own offers and companies. That's kind of, I've always kind of resonated and built and stayed within that audience. Then I launched a company a couple years after that called the Sales Lab, where I ran sales training. I ran sales and rep placement. I ran DM center placement. So again, my network is set up for that infrastructure where I can go drop a post and pretty much always find the talent I need. I know everybody doesn't have that. What I would say is slowly start building your network around business-oriented people, sales reps, or connect with other people that have that network and will do promotional posts for you. So yeah,
A piece of bread.
that's
Yum,
about the best help
You
I
gonna
could
get
give
a
there.
sissy?
Hold on, I have somebody else unmuted here. Did I get him? I think I found him. Okay, perfect. So let me go back to the chat there. Oh, I didn't even notice somebody else is in the waiting room. My bad, Christopher. Don't know how long you've been there. I zoned out for a minute. Let me go back to where I was and just see if there was anything else in the chat. Yes, need help knowing who to hire. So again, that really comes down to network pipeline or just connecting with other sales professionals. Number one, I know a couple really good sales agencies that train, hire, and place reps. I could refer you to that. That's not something I focus on and spend a lot of time. So I don't want to say I'm going to do that. But also, I can probably, Zalmi, if you're looking right now, DM me outside of this meeting in our, in our school thread or whatever. I can probably refer you a couple of guys from these interviews that I think are competent that maybe I didn't hire or weren't the best fit for my team right now. So happy to give you some people out of my network that I think would be good fits. But I just can't make any promises there because I'm not focusing on running my sales recruiting side of the business anymore. Awesome. Yeah, shoot me a message and I'll get with you on that. Great. So guys, I know I kind of talk fast, but I just covered a real lot with the new Pixel. I went through 6 landing pages and the 6th part that the buyer journey that they would see throughout the funnel pretty quickly. And I did that, intentionally. I didn't want to spend a lot of time or get too over elaborate or over extensive on that. But is there any thoughts or questions on that? Did that either, generate any things that shoot, I could break off a little thing like this, especially for some of you people with the more unlimited or extensive DaaS plans. I mean, I know some of you guys have 10 or 15 pixels. Some of you guys have half millions or millions of resolutions. Like, just curious if anybody else, because I know somebody like, it's not on this workshop, but I had a one-on-one call with him earlier today, actually, to help him brainstorm. This will be a good, I won't say anything preemptively, but this will be a really good win and case study that you're going to see. This guy, Matt Jackson, who's been in the program for a while, is about to close some big deals with some million, and then 2 even billion-dollar brands. He got with me today for a one-on-one call to really brainstorm the different compensation methods. He wants to make some performance-based compensation because he sees the potential, and these are going to be huge deals, and he doesn't just want to set up a small retainer and leave a lot of money on the table. So we got on and brainstormed some of that stuff. But Matt's somebody that already, even prior to this and months ago, had his own pixel funnel built out. And I actually think I might even used his landing page on an example to a training I did a couple months ago where I said, this is probably the simplest pixel funnel you could set up. Matt had a quick assessment page explaining. He had a calculator built in similar to ours. His wasn't quite as nice, but very good nonetheless, did the job the same. And then if the ROI was there, it took him right to a checkout page. And he had it set up automated where people could buy without going to a sales rep, which I don't recommend in most companies. But if you're working in the more e-commerce, physical product type of quick checkout purchases, that can work, and I can see it working. And that's who Matt was targeting with that funnel. So it made sense to me. In more service-based businesses, more higher ticket, I would still take it to a sales call before I sold the Pixel. Not saying you can't automate or sell that product through a landing page in a funnel, but I think it's really important to get the assessment right, and it changes so much depending on business model, average order value, amount of traffic. It's very hard to assess and make sure it's the right fit without actually getting on a call with somebody, even if it's only 10 or 15 minutes. But again, where I was kind of going with that was Matt was a good example that had his whole funnel automated checkout. Whether the final page was automated or a sales call, I don't think really matters. And I ran through some of these options. I said I only showed 3 people. Matt was one because we did a call earlier today. He's already selling the Pixel, and he has a couple clients where it might be a good fit. So I also showed him some of the other things that we were thinking and ways we were doing it. He goes, yeah, you guys are just doing it for cheaper than I want to do. And I totally get that. I'm not recommending you guys should do it necessarily as cheap as us, because you guys, although you have a very good wholesale cost, it's definitely not as cheap as the data company themselves and the data provider. But you guys can even still offer whatever our lowest tier is, 250 resolutions at $100, and there's still money on the table. I'm not saying I'd recommend it, and you're not going to get rich doing it that way, but it is a good front end offer. And then as a business owner, the other thing we see from that is some people are going to come into that funnel that are good fits for the back end program. They're going to buy a Pixel for their own website. And then my closer is going to set them with a back end account executive to get upsold into a multi-$1,000 a month package. Some other customers are going to go put the Pixel on their website. They're going to get some results, and they're going to go tell their colleagues and partners and drive us more business. So there's all kinds of secondary and upsell revenue streams, cross-sell, extra publicity and free promotion that come in from having these lower ticket and entry-level products. And it's reaching a market that, number one, we're not reaching that real low ticket market. Number two, it helps us recoup and offset some of our wasted ad spend that we're not getting the high quality people. We can turn the declined or the below quality DaaS buyer into our downsell funnel, and they're going to come, and a certain percent of those will convert. So those are all the different, and there's probably a couple more I missed, but off the top of my head, those are all the little different intricacies and nuances of the funnel where there is benefits to the business. Recouping and offsetting some missing ad spend, taking disqualified people and turning them back into buyers, having an upsell stream, having other people refer your products. All those things happen out of opening up new revenue streams, lower ticket products, and again, new markets that we're not currently trying to hit, or we haven't done a very good job of hitting. So how does the Pixel work for e-commerce sites? Shopify. I don't know specifically. I am not an e-commerce guy. I've never done much in e-com, and I never really use Shopify. Now, a regular e-commerce site with their own website and own platform, I know exactly how it works. I don't know if there's differences in Shopify. Could be the same, could not be. But let's just say like this. Let's say you run an e-commerce brand selling an $80 luxury gold pen for executives and entrepreneurs. So your average order value is about $80. Let's say your site, and I'm just going to use whole numbers for simple math in my head. Let's say your site gets 10,000 hits per month to your website. Let's say you get a 3% conversion rate. So 10,000 people hit 3% convert. That means we have 9,700 bounce visitors or anonymous traffic. We slap the pixel onto the website. Once it's firing, it's going to resolve the identity of about 40 to 60%. Let's go 40%. So we're talking 9,700 people, 40%. You're talking about 3,850 people right there. Now we're going to get the name, phone number, email, and hash profile for retargeting ads for all those people. What I'm going to do is take those, what I just say, about 3,850 people, I'm going to loop them into a separate ad campaign where I have a retargeting ad set, and it's going to say something like this. Hey, Noah, I saw you landed on my Raise Gold Pen website here in the last month or so. Hey, sorry to see you didn't make a purchase and become a member of the family, or do not join our free newsletter and get put on our executive list where we send out free gifts for your birthday. But I just wanted to let you know we had a loyal promotion going right now for our loyal website visitors, and we saw you hit here in the last month. 20% off your entire purchase if you go check out here within the next 24 hours, whether you buy 1 pen or 10 pens. So here's your discount code, boom. So really quickly, I am just saying, hey, I saw you visit my website, hitting them with a retargeting ad, giving them a little incentive or cost of inaction to go do some business now, discount, urgency, whatever you call it. And then we're going to get a certain percent conversion rate of that bounce traffic. Again, I've noticed that usually bounce visitor traffic, although they're anonymous and relatively cold, they usually convert better than a cold website visitor just bouncing on a website for a first time that really didn't have much intent to show up there. So again, like you said, JR, it does work the same. I just don't know all the intricacies within Shopify. I just don't want to speak to what I'm not sure of. But with a regular e-commerce site, it works exactly like that, Noah. And let's just do the math real quick on my calculator on what we just said. So we said 3,850 people, right? And I'm going to get them, make sure the math's right. And let's say we're only still converting at the basic 3%. So that would be 116 extra sales just by retargeting. And we said he had an $80 average order value. So right there, that drives in $9,280 extra each month by just slapping the pixel on his website and running some very basic retargeting ads. If I'm asking him to pay me $1,500 a month for a pixel, that's going to drive in $9,200. Where's the incentive for him to tell me, no, Ray, that's not a good business decision? It's almost impossible to say, no, Ray, I'm not going to pay you $1,500 to drive me in $9,300 per month. It's almost a no-brainer. And again, that was our lowest case scenario. That's if everybody only buys 1 pen, the minimum. That's if everybody only converts at the same rate as the cold traffic. Could convert double that, right? But worst case scenario, this guy's still got about a 4.6 to 1 ROI on that example I just did off the top of my head. By no means were those perfect order values. I could have picked a very high ticket product with a lot more traffic, and that number would have been 800 grand. But I picked a very basic one that's very doable, that I see hundreds and thousands of businesses with an $80 average order value getting 10,000 hits to their website. Very common, very doable. And in that case, this client would make back about $9,200 a month just by retargeting his bounce visitors or his anonymous traffic. So yeah, that's basically the quickest and most distinct breakdown I can give you there, Noah. Great. Cool. So I ran through the lesson a little quick. I expected maybe some more questions, but let me open it up one more time. I know I've kind of had it open, but people have come and gone. Some have joined. So if anybody hopped on the call or joined today's lesson and has, number one, any sales questions specifically that they want me to go over, that they want to brainstorm, that they want my take on, whatever, type of 1 in the chat, and I will call on you. Or if you were watching today's lesson and you have some questions on what we covered with the Pixel, our new packages, any of that stuff, also type a 1 in the chat and I will call on you, or just type your question in there if you don't want to come on and speak like a lot of you guys have been doing. Either or, I'll be here. Cool. I'll get to you 1 minute, Rodney. Perfect. Let me just read Stacey's question in here for Pixel installation. What question should we ask to determine the best way to install? Yeah, great question. So first, I want to know, question I'm never gonna install a Pixel without knowing ever, is how many hits are they getting to their website per month? But basically, as I talked about, and let me just bring it up. I think this is relevant, and Rodney, I'm still gonna have plenty of time to get to you. Don't you worry. Great question though. So let me just go back in those seller resources. Let me just open up this training I talked about with the Super Pixel. If you guys click on it, it'll take you into here. Then down in the description of this video, you're going to see the link to the tool that I'm talking about. So let's bring up that tool. Here's the Pixel Forecast Calculator. So generally speaking, and ideally, Stacia, I want these top 4 things to be able to plug in. And this one, just so you know, I still remember it. I'm not gonna, because I don't do this without their permission. I know the client's name and the business he was running this for. This is real numbers, and this is a real forecast that got run through here. So I'm not even gonna tweak with or play with it. Let's just look at it, because I honestly don't remember it. Now looking at these numbers, I remember who it was, but I don't remember how it turned out, how big of a deal. Let's go through it though. But it's always these top 4 things I would like to know ideally. Can I get away with not knowing all of them? Not every business owner, and a lot of them specifically, I would say don't know number 7 and 8 on this checklist, which are columns 3 and 4, basically here, the sales conversion rate and their average order value. I would hope business owners know that, but a lot of them don't. But if I can, actually, I should say, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. It's the middle 2 that I've seen the least amount of business owners know. Most of them know the average order value and the monthly traffic. A lot of them don't know their cost per acquisition. That's the biggest one I find people don't know. I can get a rough estimate, even though it doesn't need to be spot on. And then their conversion rate. That one's an easy one to locate, and I would like to think they know it, but I found a lot of business owners don't. But at least knowing the monthly traffic and their average order value gives me a very good ballpark to be able to assess if it's going to be a good fit. If they tell me I get 10,000 hits to my website, and let's just use this whole number, 10,000, if the average order value is about $70 or more, it's usually going to make sense, Stacia. From there, I think we can fluctuate it on both ways. So less traffic, higher average order value, it's probably still going to make sense, and vice versa. Let me give a couple examples of that. A roofer only getting about 2,000 hits, but his average order value is an $11,000 residential roof, probably still going to be a good ROI there, and it's going to be worth throwing the pixel on his site. Or vice versa. Maybe I'm selling a pen that's not a gold pen. It's this plastic piece of crap, cheap one in my hand that's 89 cents, right? Well, at that, I better be driving about 100,000 people or 1 million per month, right? I need a lot of traffic because my average order value is so low. So plugging it into this checklist is a really good way to double check. And you want to know these top 4 metrics, but at least by monthly traffic and average order value, I can get a ballpark assessment whether it's going to be a win and a home run or not. And that's the simplest way I can answer that without getting too complex. Rodney, go ahead. Feel free to unmute and hit me with your question.
Sure. Let's see. Okay. Let's see if I can get me off video.
You could be your animated self. I don't care.
Okay. Okay, great. I don't know why it's not coming off, but okay. Basically, I go to a lot of in-person events, and sometimes I'm seeing a lot of people that they may not actually be like right at my. I'm kind of targeting kind of like higher income level, but like some of these people are like kind of starting their business and everything. And it's I'm trying to find out what can I offer someone that's like lower that could, that I could just kind of keep them within my funnel. Like I don't want to ignore them, but then I also don't want to kind of get myself off track also. So
great question. I kind of have a 2-part answer to this. So number one is what we kind of want to do with this product and this technology is target a certain established level of client, right? So like you said, generally speaking, you're targeting some high net worth, higher level individuals, but you're also running into people that are at the beginning of their journey. You might even be high net worth, but if you're at the beginning of your journey and have no sales, no traffic, no website, you're not running ads, it's very tough to offer data. So number one, and then let me get into what I think you can offer in the real answer to your question, but I would say I like to be very, very specific about only targeting this certain threshold of clients and above. And I'm very open with telling people, hey, Rodney, your business idea sounds great, but you're just not quite at the point where where you're quite ready for this technology. And it's not the best place to invest in your business right now. If I were you, I would go do a little more in building out your, whatever this is, Rodney, I'm just using an example, your sales team and your client acquisition system. And once you're driving in 20 buyers per month, come back and speak to me and let's talk then. So that's one way you can go. Right? Just a very soft letdown. And there's no problem with disqualifying people. You don't want to be forcing data onto people that it's not going to be a benefit or a help. Now, what I usually use as my low-hanging fruit to my lower established business owner is the enrichment feature tool, meaning, hey, Rodney, you don't quite have a lot of traffic going to your website. You just launched. You don't have a huge following, and you're not spending money on ads. But do you have an email list that you've accrued over the last year or two from past acquaintances, past clients, people that have opted into your newsletter, whatever? Yeah, Ray, I have an email list of about 5,000. Okay, well, this is the best way you can probably use my technology. We have what's called an enrichment feature, Rodney, where I can take that data, your email list of 5,000 people, I run it through my enrichment feature, and then on the back end, it's going to spit out that email number, the first and last name, the cell phone number, the LinkedIn profile, and the other avenues we can target this person. So I think it's great that you built that 5,000 person email list. But number one, how often are you hitting it and blasting it with promotions? Well, Ray, I just started. I haven't really been doing it. Totally. And then two, if you haven't been consistent and you're not blasting it, I think I already know the answer to this next question. But we also need to see when we're sending out emails to our list of 5,000, Rodney, how many are actually getting delivered? How many are getting in a primary inbox? Then when they get there, how many are getting opened? There's all these variables. So if we could take that email list and send out the same amount of SMSs and LinkedIn messages, you could probably get 2 to 3x the amount of eyeballs on your offer that you're currently getting to your email list. If I could get you 2 to 3 the amount of X eyeballs on your offer, would you make more sales, Rodney?
Definitely, yeah.
And that's my whole spiel there. And what I mean by that is, and I run through these numbers, on average, a decent email campaign gets about a 20 to 25% open rate. On average, LinkedIn open rate is 64%. SMS open rate is 83%. So again, if we can get the LinkedIn and SMS profiles and blast out your same message and your same call to action, again, that math right there shows you from 20, 25% to 60 or 80%. That's 3 to 4 times more eyeballs on your message.
Right.
That's my low-hanging fruit tool, and I charge them $500 for an enrichment, a base fee. It's very, very affordable. Most clients, if they make one sale out of that, they're going to recoup their money, especially if there's somebody running a coaching package. They're an author, they're a speaker, they're an expert, they're a high net worth individual just starting out their own offer. That's usually going to be a higher ticket offer, or at least mid-ticket. You know what I mean?
Right. So by doing that, how are you actually running that enrichment? How are you doing it for them? Is it automated?
All you got to do is take the initial email list into there's a few different files you can put it into. I would have to go look in there to be very specific. I think the JPEG is the most common, but again, you can go look in there or message my support guys, just because I don't use the tool myself that often anymore. I don't want to be quoted, but we get it in the right file. All you do is upload that file into the enrichment filter. It takes anywhere from 20 minutes to about an hour to filter through the whole database, and then it spits you out the list. As I just said, all right, you entered Rodney Ford at Gmail, and then it spit out Rodney Ford at Gmail, Rodney Ford, 432-782, cell phone number. Here's his LinkedIn profile, and it shows you all the other avenues. And then you create some SMS and LinkedIn messaging campaigns and start to blast them out. It's pretty much that simple.
Okay.
Load the file into the tool, it spits out the enriched data, and then we figure out which platforms we're going to hit them on. I've seen the most success with LinkedIn and SMS outreach through that way.
Okay, I have one quick thing. So
I don't see any other questions.
Okay, all right, real quick. Okay, so I have from going to like these events, I met like this person. One guy does insurance, and another one they do like lighting. And the lighting customer, they get like $2,500 per customer minimum. That's their minimum ticket. The insurance guy, he said his minimum ticket is between $500 to $1,000. Now they both, I kind of gave a little bit of, but kind of a little taste of kind of like what I was doing, and they didn't really seem like they had a real big budget to start with. So like, what would you kind of, but I mean, I can definitely see the value for the person that does the lighting, because I mean, for one
I can
customer,
see the value for both of them. I see exactly what you're asking. I can see the value for both of them. My thing to them would be, I talked a little with Philip about this in the initial question. I don't know if you were on for that or not, Rodney, maybe. And I talked a little about exclusive versus shared leads. So if I was to talk with, I'm going to start with the insurance agent. I would ask them, hey, Rodney, how are you currently getting leads? I know this from being in the industry myself and working with quite a few of you guys in that industry. Generally speaking, they're having to buy leads either through the carrier that they are 1099 or affiliated with, or they're buying leads off a shared lead platform such as Angie's List and Home Advisor. So whatever they tell me, any of those solutions and a couple others that are most predominant, those are a shared lead pool. And what they say to me is, hey, Ray, I buy leads through this pool that I'm affiliated with, whatever, Allstate Insurance or whatever. I mean, I'm just picking one off the top of my head. They give me this list every month. I have to spend a couple $100 and buy leads from it, and that's where I get my leads. Well, how are those? Are those high quality? No, Ray, they kind of suck. They seem shared and other people have already hit them. I get very few deals. And that's why. That's exactly what you said there, Rodney, shared leads. What if I could go into my data platform of over 300 million users, about 1.9 trillion behaviors, 60 billion 60 billion URLs, excuse me, there, and build you an high intent audience of only your ideal buyers in your demographic, where you get them and they're exclusive leads. Which one's a better business model for you going forward, Rodney? The shared leads you're buying now, or exclusive leads that you're the only one that has them?
Definitely the exclusive leads. Yeah, definitely.
How would they not see the value? Now, I have no control of the people you're talking with budget. I can't ever speak to that. But
Right.
personally, if they can't invest at least $750 in a list of exclusive leads to grow their business,
Right.
I mean, what can you do? That it's just not your buyer, man. But I mean, you could pull lists at 750 a day, and I would usually recommend going more. You've heard me talk about this. That's the lowest in base price I would sell to an entry level client that's on a real tight budget that I just want to prove the data. Again, I'll never go lower than that, but hey, man, if you invest 750, and then let's go to your lighting guy, same thing.
Right.
If that guy gets one deal, he's already made a 3x investment, right? At $2,500.
But I'm saying, so how much would you give them for that minimum? Because like I find out I don't want to give them too much, because then it's like I don't want to price myself, give them too much value.
And that's a great question too. I usually start by asking my prospects and my consumers, hey, Rodney, in a perfect world, how many leads can you hit a month? How many can you actually reach out to? Well, Ray, I hit about 1,000 per month. That's how many I'm going to sell them. I'm going to make the list contingent within what their bandwidth has the ability to do. And I've made this example. I've been asked this question before. And a great example is this girl I've worked with, a lady I've worked with a couple of years ago named Tina, and owned the creditbureau.com website. And she asked me to make her a list, and I was just telling her the individual list at the time. And it came up to about $500,000, 500,000 people, a max list. She was looking for everybody that searched the term credit repair in the US in the 30 days. It was a huge demographic. Now, before I gave her this list, Rodney, I went back and asked her, Tina, how many leads do your team reach out to each month? Ray, we can reach out to about 20,000. So, Rodney, on my end, I'm not going to provide her with a list of 500,000 for two main reasons. Number one, way too many, and she's never going to come back and buy another one. But more importantly, into month 2 and 3 of that list, that stuff's going to be dated. Now that data is 3-4 months old. It's not fresh. It's not new. They probably already found their credit repair solution. So by the time she actually gets to 3/4 of that list, it's not even going to be fresh new data anymore. Right? So what I did at that point, once she told me 20,000, I had this list of 500,000. I went back in and I just searched inner city, Detroit, Michigan, everybody that search credit repair, and that came out to about 20,000, and that's what I sold her. So I went and altered the list to her capabilities of who to reach out to, and she came and bought another one next month.
That sounds
So
good.
we can usually build the list within the parameters they're looking for, quality, quantity, that kind of stuff. But again, I like to know, what is your bandwidth and how many can you reach out to? Well, Ray, we can send 20,000 emails. Well, we target 30,000 in our ads. Whatever that number is, I'm going to make the list right around there, give or take, right? Couple hundred, couple thousand either way. Doesn't really matter, but give or take.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Christopher Groton, you had a question there. Feel free. Go ahead. Unmute and go ahead.
Oh, hang on, Ray. I'm over. Hang on. Can you hear me?
Audio's clear.
Hang on.
No problem. I can hear you, though.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Hey, guess what I'm doing today?
I have no clue.
I'm making my first call. The guy called me and said he wants to talk about buying leads or data.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I've been studying you guys for like the last year, trying to learn as much as I can. Because I don't want to go in stupid. I want to know, I want to make a good pitch. We first connected about a month ago at a coffee shop, and he does mortgages. And I told him what I do, and he said, well, send me some samples and we'll see what. I said, I don't do samples. I mean, this is custom built stuff, man. It's going to cost me a lot of money just to service you.
Yep.
So, but this is what we do. And I went through all the different things the reasons that separate us from any other DSP out there. He said, okay, we'll be in touch. So today he called back.
What I would start with on a deal like that and somebody like that is really focusing on the intent data. And I would point out that real estate and mortgage is one of our top 5 industries month in and month out where our data is performing the best. We can get them exclusive leads with certain intent features based on the product and the services he's offering. So, I mean, that's really your pitch to that guy. Where's he currently getting leads? How high is the quality? Are they exclusive? Usually you're going to find one of those that isn't where he wants it to be. They're not exclusive. The quality's not there. I got to call 10 people to get one that's actually interested or whatever that is. What if I could provide you with a high intent exclusive list of leads within your geographical area that are actually looking for the offerings that you're offering right now? And that's your pitch.
You know, do you know what I found out yesterday? Is that apparently Google, everybody who's buying all of these ads from Facebook, I guess the performance is shit right now. It's just in the last few days. So I think that may be why he's calling, because he's probably feeding these leads into Facebook ads, and the performance isn't there. And what I want to pitch him is, well, what about our? We've got our own little ad server, that programmatic thing.
Yeah, so if that's the case, this is your talking point in your pitch right here. If that's the case, hey, you're running some money on Facebook ads and your cost per lead and acquisition is going way up and your profitability is diving. Yeah, that is going on kind of right now, Chris. Hey man, this is what I would recommend. What if I could go build you an in-market intent, first-party, already winning audience? We loop it right into your ad manager, and I run your creative right to there. So basically what we're doing here, Chris, we're eliminating and circumventing Facebook's, pardon my French, crappy targeting parameters, which right now is driving your cost up and your profitability down. I give you an existing in-market winning audience. We run your creative right to that. You change nothing else. Same creative you're using, same budget. Your cost per lead and acquisition dropped by about 25 to 40% almost overnight, just because we can target so much better than Meta. If I could get your cost and lead and or acquisition down by anywhere from 25 to 40%, would your profitability start to go back up, Chris?
Right, exactly. So I'm thinking I could just use all the same, the conversation you had with this last guy. Use all of that same
100%.
thing.
It is.
Just repurpose it.
Yeah, it's just assessing where they're at. I would do a different pitch if he was, driving a lot of traffic to his website. But if he's spending money on ads and he's selling mortgage and products like that, I would go with the exclusive leads in market list and how to plug those into your Facebook ads, drop your cost per lead and acquisition, and increase those profits again.
Cool. Well, that's him calling.
Well, go ahead. I got to end this workshop
I'm
anyway.
gonna
We're right at the.
Hey, I'll let you know how it goes.
Please do shoot me a DM in our school community. Let me know. Guys, I got to run off the workshop here. We're right at the top of the hour, and I have to go do an interview or two for those reps I said I was hiring. So I will have this replay uploaded into school within the sales channel before the end of the day. Other than that, shoot me with a DM if I could do anything between now and next workshop, and we will see you 2 weeks from today. Same time, same channel. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your participation, engagement, and the people that chimed in with questions. Thank you. Bye-bye.